Hello there, I'm Vigalius. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. I really didn't expect, with all the preparation of this video, I did not expect to make a Taylor Swift reference. But here we are, dude. That's about the only one I could make. I don't really know too much about her. Oh, she did a song with The National. I love The National. And she's super rich. I know those facts, and that's as far as we can go. But we're not here today to talk about Taylor Swift, dude. So you can stop doing that. We're here to talk about quite the opposite. Moist Critical. I woke up this morning. I put my phone down, and I popped one of his videos on while I made lunch for work. Because, yeah, dude, I'd be working. And I popped the video on, and I listened to it. I did that quite a bit. I feel as though, Moist Critical is like the morning news for people born after 1990, and it's far more interesting as well. Way better than the news. I could see why we went with that first. And he was talking about a guy who was obsessed with this girl and saying, her boyfriend wasn't enough, and he seems like a nice guy, but he's too dorky, and, just not good enough for her. And she was showing all these DMs that he sent to her, all these unhinged DMs. And of course, Charlie was talking about how crazy and unhinged they were, and it was stuff like, I'm a high-valued male, and he's dorky, and I'm a successful guy, and I have all this money now, and plenty more to come, I'm this strong dude. And the reason I want to talk about it, and the reason it was so interesting to me, and I'll probably cover more of Charlie's videos in the future too, but the reason it was so interesting to me was because I recognized that language. It was very familiar to me, very much so, but not because of me. I never would have spoken to a girl like that. I was a nerd. I wouldn't have spoken to a girl anyway, let alone like that. But it's not because of that. It's because I'm a big fan of people like, there's a whole circle of people: Curtis Connor, Drew Gooden, Danny Gonzalez, Jarvis Johnson, all of these people. And they show these types of guys all the damn time. And it's always the same story with these dudes. It's always exactly the same delivery, keywords, structure, everything that this guy was saying, I've read 1,000 times. And if anything, even when Charlie was reading this, I kind of read it in Curtis's voice, because he's covered this type of shit all the time. Skis away. If you get that reference, welcome to Curtis Town. I mean, yeah, they cover these types of guys all the time, and it's so recognizable and so inefficient, and it's crazy to me to hear this stuff from so many people. This stuff reverberated back from so many people. Now you can clearly tell that there is an origin point with these people. This guy's an incel. He is an incel, and he probably subscribes to a lot of like alpha male coach, podcasts and videos and stuff like that. And when you see clips from these people, which you do, and all of these people that I watch, like Curtis and all of that, Danny, when you see them cover these people, you see the clips themselves, and they're using language like this too. And these people are absorbing that and assuming that, oh, this guy is the alpha male guy, and he's in a room, and he's the leader of the pack, and he said he is, and I'm paying to listen to him as well, which must make him a super awesome dude. What an L that is. I'm sorry. But I mean, this guy must know what he's talking about, and he must know what he's doing. He must pull bitches. Probably not. And then they bounce that back to these people, and it's not a good move. It's not good. Of course, it didn't work here, and it doesn't work in any of the other clips that I've seen. And I just really, I find it bizarre, because I think if I was the woman in that situation, or man, or whichever gender you would like to be, if I was the person in that situation, I can understand why they wouldn't fall for it or go for it. Listen, let me give you some advice. There is nothing worse, nothing more off-putting for your introduction to another human being, another person, than sounding calculated. And this, using keywords and key phrases that you hear from these people, sounds phenomenally calculated in a very gross way and in a very unnatural way. And it should never work, and probably will never work. People do not want to hear an introduction or even a conversation that sounds calculated and cold in such a way, particularly when they're probably receiving exactly the same messages from all of these other people. The people that these people are getting in touch with, you're not the only person saying this to them, they're probably hearing it all the time. And listen, I'm someone who I somehow managed to fool, someone who's way out of my league, absolutely beautiful person to be with me. I'm not a single man, and if I were to give you any advice, if you're one of these people who's desperately seeking this out, then my advice would be so cliche, but it's true. And that's just try to act natural, just try to be natural and use the situation as a filtration system. It's not just for them to figure out whether they like you, it's for you to figure out whether you're a good match. And in that situation, if what you're presenting isn't working and if acting natural isn't working, then it's not going to work out. But the most important thing about it is to go into that situation with that mindset and never, ever enter a relationship with, anyone expecting that to turn into something sort of grandiose and potentially, like sexual or a long-term relationship or anything like that. Go into the situation expecting anything, and whenever anything happens, you'll absorb that and work off of it, but hopefully that'll be as natural as possible. And if it's not, be prepared to move on. But that's exactly what someone is looking for when they want a relationship with someone, is someone who is completely natural, and the responses feel natural and normal, and that's how it works out. And if it doesn't, then move on. I think that's the most important thing to do. That would be my advice. I'm sorry, I speak from experience. That's exactly what I did, and it worked out tremendously well for us. And it could work for you too. And if it doesn't, again, move on. Definitely don't listen to these guys. Definitely don't present the cold, calculated, I'm this and I'm that. And just trying to act natural. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. And I guess I'll see everyone later.